This is KRHA with this week's legislative news you need to know. We are a third of the way through the 2019 legislative session, and the executive and legislative branches have developed their unique initial approaches to a common set of concerns. The executive branch always gets off to a fast start, and the legislative branch is now caught up. Pace around the Capitol is fast and furious to meet the 90-day deadline. Budget subcommittees are forwarding recommended budgets to the full committee, and hot-button issues such as capers are receiving floor debates. The Kansas Alcohol and Beverage Control introduced Senate Bill 70, which would streamline temporary permits and allow drinking establishments to extend their premise easier. The KRHA testified in support of the legislation and asked the committee to ensure both caterers and hotels receive the same privilege as drinking establishments. Several additional provisions were included regarding the Kansas State Fair and allowing outside liquor to be consumed on a temporary permit premise. The Kansas Senate and House each will hold hearings on their respective food sales tax reduction. In the Senate, Senate Bill 76 reduces the tax on certain foods from the current 6.5 to 3.5% over 3 years. In the House, House Bill 2261 reduces the tax from 6.5 to 5.5% over 1 year. As the public mood for this reduction has increased over the last few years, so too has the complicated language the proponents have used to define which foods will get special tax treatment. Prepared foods are not entitled to the reduction unless they are served without utensils and meet a list of 5 different requirements. How a consumer would ordinarily cook food prior to consumption would be a statutory consideration to determine what tax level is applied. Bottled water would be treated differently if sold as prepared food. While we don't know what that actually means, I'm sure we'll hear more this week. KRHA members in the Kansas City area expressed interest in modeling the Kansas Growler provisions in the Microbrewery Act and allowing them in drinking establishments. KRHA introduced a bill last week in Senate, Federal, and State Affairs to accomplish that task. To date, the Kansas Wine and Spirits wholesalers, the retailers, and other microbrew entities are all on board. The Retailers Association also approached KRHA about our thoughts on allowing the sale of growlers in liquor stores. Some microbrewers do not have the ability to package their product for retail sale. This change could provide them an outlet to do so. Look for the myriad of House bills on association health plans to be consolidated and moved to the floor this week. The Farm Bureau lobbyists continue to try to hitch a ride to the association health plans with their non-insurance insurance plan because they perceive it as meaningful reform. The KRHA testified in support of sports wagering in the House subcommittee last week. Our goal was to support those businesses who have already invested in Kansas bars and restaurants and not drive away dollars from places where Kansans currently watch sporting events. The House recommendations will be forwarded to the full committee shortly. Additionally, the Senate will begin their hearings this week. That's what's been happening in Topeka. On behalf of KRHA, thanks for listening.